Are you here? Come on in. Where are you from? Where are you from? I'm from here. I'm from the computer screen. Where are you from? Come on in. Everybody, come in. Come in. Come in. Did you hear what happened? The trial's over. Johnny has won. Those of us that were on Team Johnny are happy. Did you watch the verdict? Did you look at Elon's tweets about the remote work stuff? What do you think? Come on in. Tell me where you're from. Let's get this party started. Sweden. Beautiful. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Hello, hello. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Fremont, California. Beautiful. Awesome. Come on in, everybody. We got Denmark. Who else we got? We got Germany. Hope you're doing good. Thank you. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great as well. Thank you very much. We got Australia. Might. South Africa. Sound is good. Beautiful, beautiful. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. We'll give it a couple more minutes for folks to come in. Tell me where you're from. We got Seattle. We got British Columbia. We got Assyria. Where is that? I'm not very cultured. Help me. Where is that? Belgium. Thank you very much. Berlin, Germany. Awesome. Howdy, Digital. Welcome back, my friend. Digital has a cool badge because he's joined the channel and he's been with us for a long time. Thank you very much, Digital. You're always welcome, my friend. We got Hong Kong. Beautiful. I work from home. Awesome, Edward. Are you supposed to be working right now? What time is it? Are you supposed to be working right now? Taiwan. Hear you great. Jamie from Canada. Welcome, Jamie. Regular. We got Vienna, Austria. I love it. Come on in, everybody. Yeah. Interesting day today. There was a tweet that went out from Elon Musk last night, I believe, where he talked about remote work and how Tesla is no longer going to facilitate that from what it looks like. And so we'll get into that discussion. And then as well as anything else you'd like to talk about as well. If you can do me a favor, definitely, if you have a question, make sure you write question before the question so that it's easier for me to filter through. I think YouTube automatically highlights those for me, so it's a little bit easier for me to sift through. So if you have a question, type question before it, but the what we'll kick off the discussion with is Elon getting into their remote work stuff first, and then we'll get into different topics as well. So we got Norway. We got the northern part of Mesopotamia. Oh, awesome. Didn't even know that. Back to work. Everybody, if you're remote at Tesla, get back to work right now. We got Seattle. Tesla Herbert, how you doing, my friend? Tesla Herbert's a big on the Tesla community. Thank you very much for stopping in, my friend. We got Iowa, home of the Hawkeyes, beautiful. We got the Planet K-Pax, awesome. We got Utah as well. Diggs, welcome back, my friend. Diggs is another regular of us in the channel. So that's awesome. Okay, so let's see. Where do we start with Elon's remote work stuff? So, blaming the computer connection for not being at the meeting online, can't do that in person. Okay, yeah, right. So I think there's going to be a few things that are tied to the email that Elon sent about the remote work situation at Tesla, okay? And having been there over 4 years, and so I left September of last year in 2021. And most of my time there, I was in person. Just to give you a little bit of context, I was in person at a facility. And then the last, call it 6 to 9 months, were remote because I relocated to Austin and I was waiting for the Austin factory to build up. And within that time, I also traveled to different facilities. Okay, so I experienced both while I was at Tesla. And obviously, I have my thoughts around the thing that Elon sent, the email that Elon sent. So if you're not familiar, we should probably bring you up to speed. So let's go ahead and do that. So last night, there was a email that was shared with the entire Tesla community where allegedly, and I'll pull it up on my screen here in a hot second. Give me 1 second. Very good. Do confirm that you can still hear me. There was an email that was sent where, let me remove this, where Elon talked about remote work is no longer acceptable. Anyone who wishes to do remote work must be in the office for a minimum of 40 hours per week or leave Tesla. Hard works, or harsh words in a sense, right? This is less than we ask of factory workers, which is true. If there are particular exceptional contributors from whom this is possible, I will review and approve those exceptions directly. Okay, so he sort of outlined this exception rule, but Elon will need to check it off himself, and God knows how long that could take. Moreover, the office must be a main Tesla office, not a remote branch office unrelated to the job duties. For example, being responsible for Fremont factory human relations, but having your office be in another state, which seems reasonable, right? If you're somebody who is expected to be at the facility, okay? There was a follow-up email that was sent, which I'm having trouble finding. So give me 1 second there. I'll pull it up for you guys. I think our friend, who sent it? There was a second email that went out where he sent it to the broader team, and that one got a response from him as well, I believe. But anyway, I can't find that one. But essentially, it was essentially an additional color that gave to that email from the perspective that was sent to the entire team, right? That one that I just read was going directly to the executive team, and then the one after that was sent to the entire Tesla team. Okay, so here's how I'm thinking about it. So when I was at Tesla, and we got some people still coming in, so thank you very much. Yeah, we can hear you fine. No messing about. Hello, peeps. Hey, Farza. Hey, Ishan. Thank you very much for joining the channel, my friend. Yeah, so and there's somebody says that I'm not convinced that the second one is legit. I can tell you that they're both legit. You know, I don't have any confirmed sources, but the tone, the vernacular, the words he was using, it was very much Elon. I've seen a lot of Elon emails. I would be surprised if it didn't come from Elon. Yeah, and there was a reply that he said on the thread on the one tweet that was sent where he said, "Yeah, this is like if they should pretend to work somewhere else." In essence, saying that, hey, this obviously came from you, right? So, within the context of Tesla, what you have to remember is that anything that Elon runs, at least from my experience having worked at Tesla, is that the speed of solving problems, speed of innovation, culture is paramount. Okay? It's paramount. And so that is a giant competitive advantage of Tesla. When you have a situation where folks have essentially since COVID, right? And I kind of saw this at the company. People have had the freedom, to be remote, okay? Part of my decision to move into Austin was that the stuff that I was doing at the company at the time was very remote in nature because I had teams that were at specific locations and I was bouncing around different facilities, okay? And for me, it made sense to be a little bit more central because I can still go to the locations, but I was going to the locations. And I had teams that were at the locations themselves, okay? But what probably happened is that there were teams within the company that were designed to be present and instead became remote through the COVID pandemic. And this is probably a correction to that. And so I'm going to role play a situation that may have happened. Okay. So I don't know if this happened or not, but having worked there, I feel like this is probably what happened. I could be wrong. There was probably a situation where Elon was probing speed. Okay. As you guys know, there's been a lot of supply chain issues. And so Tesla is not going to be immune from those. But there's going to be a point where the company is going to be caught up enough to put throughput through the company where that concern about supply chain is no longer the case. So if you're in the factory and you're, given the guidance that, hey, we can't go any faster because we're waiting for parts, we're waiting for materials, like literally we can't do any more. I'm guessing what happens, Elon's like, okay, fine, but you've been telling me this for God knows how long. And I'm hearing from other sources potentially that this is not a problem anymore, not as big as it used to be. So what may have happened, he dug in, as he would like to do, and he checked the signal, right? And he's like, okay, is that a noise or signal? And what he likely found is that the company could be going a lot faster than it is right now, but they've potentially maybe hit a little bit of a lull in the case of trying to get stuff out the door or fixing problems or problem solving engineering solutions, okay? Given that Tesla is always focused on its number one priority, which is speed of solutions, speed of innovation, if you're somebody who's trying to solve that problem in his shoes, you're probably trying to go to the source and be like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. I need to fix this right now. Like, materials are here, stuff's getting here, and we should be going way faster than this, okay? But given that through the COVID thing, you've had this sort of like people are everywhere, either at home or somewhere else, probably became hard for him to either nail down the teams or people responsible to solve that problem, or they're remote, but it's taking much longer for him to get to the end solution than he'd like, okay? And I think that's what probably spurred that decision, is that he was trying to problem solve directly, and he found that the company wasn't as quick as it should be, and he may have identified the fact that people are remote as one reason why. And so you have to think about it from the perspective too of, if you're at a location and your company is 100% focused on problem solving, it's way easier to do if you're in person. Okay, it's just it's so much easier. It is, and I experienced this myself. I remember when I was remote for part of my job, I was still trying to problem solve, but it was like through Teams, through phone, trying to do it, with basically a surrogate that's going to be there that's trying to convey information for me. But I found it to be much, much easier, much, much quicker if I was there in person, okay? There's another thing about this too, from the fact that Tesla is not a glamorous place to work, okay? So I think a lot of people that are maybe on the side of, well, this is a reasonable expectation of people who live in a new age. I understand. But Tesla at its core is a company where there's difficult problems always. And outside of some exceptions, being in person will get you quicker results than being remote. And if the leader of the company or the leader of the teams are finding that the speed is not fast enough and it's clearly due to the fact that the people are not present in the company, they're going to pull the lever and say, okay, everybody get the fuck back. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. I don't know if there's censors out there listening to this, but yeah, okay. So I am not against remote work. I think remote work is actually a really good thing. Part of my job at Tesla was remote, now granted, it was during the COVID period where a lot of it was remote, and my job morphed over time into a little bit more global sort of thing, but I still had to travel to locations. And during the pandemic itself, I spent a lot of time at physical locations, 12, 14, 16 hours, okay? Mask, not touching anybody, not breathing on anybody, so on and so forth, right? But it is better to be in person if you're trying to solve things faster. So from the perspective of an investor, if you're an investor and you're looking at this, I think you're probably very happy, because the moat of Tesla of moving as fast as humanly possible is retained, okay? Especially if you're working at a company that's doing physical things, okay? If you're somebody who's constantly doing just, computer work 100% of the time and you don't have to interface with anything physical in person, then maybe there is some exceptions there. And like the message said from Elon, like there are exceptions, but he has to vet them to ensure that they are exceptions. So this is not a complete blanket statement, right? I think it's being taken as a blanket statement, but there is room for flexibility, but he has to approve it, right? But yeah, if you're a manufacturing company, it stands to reason that if you're dealing with physical things, you need people there, right? There's another thing to this too. Imagine being a factory worker. Imagine being somebody at the line. And this is a majority of Tesla staff are people that are physically at the buildings, right? So Tesla might hire 110,000 people, but a significant majority of those people are people that are physically doing the work to build things or to ship things or to repair things, right? A minority of that population is actively working on it, right? But they are actively supporting. They're not actively working on building the things, but they're actively supporting the teams that are building the things, okay? And so if you're a factory worker or somebody at a physical location that's having some sort of issue, okay, say part of the line in Fremont is, I don't know, you're having a problem with a tool set, or you're having a problem with the software and the robot, or you're having a problem with a supply coming to your section of the line, okay? Sending an email to somebody who's not there, you are at the mercy of that person always being at their computer and at the ready if they are remote, okay? And human nature tends towards comfort, okay? So you need a certain set of circumstances for that to be optimal, okay? Whereas if you had the engineer or whoever is there in the facility, you can literally grab them by their shirt. You should never do that, but I'm just using a figure of speech. But you can go to the person and be like, hey, listen, Joe, I need you here because I need this fixed immediately. I cannot do my job well, okay? So being in person really accelerates your ability to get there, okay? So, and that's huge for culture, because the last thing you want is to have factory workers, warehouse workers, line workers, whatever, hitting their head against the wall repeatedly trying to like do their job, and it keeps breaking or it's not going as fast as it should. And then you have a support team that's not there supporting you. Okay, that's really bad for culture. And the reason why Tesla has been able to do what it's done, it's because it's been able to meld these two things extremely well. Extremely well. And if the remote work that's happening at Tesla is starting to derail that or diminish that capability, then it's sensible for Elon to say, yo, everybody get back. At the very least, let's get back and let's figure out how to move forward if people want to go remote. If people are afraid about people leaving because of this, to be completely honest, if you're somebody that wants to leave because of this change, your time's probably up at Tesla anyway. Meaning that if Tesla's a fucking hard place to work, man. It's really hard. And so if you're somebody that doesn't want to like give up that flexibility and they have to go back, maybe it's somebody else's turn to come in and do that job, because it is very demanding, you know? And one of the reasons why I left is because I could realize for myself after almost, over 4 years, I was like, well, why is my brain going to like different things? Why am I like wanting to pursue different things? Why aren't I fully into this Tesla mission? It's because you just naturally may just shift interests, right? But I'm not going to be the person that's going to be there trying to milk this fucking remote thing. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to step aside. Step aside, let someone else come in and fill in the gap, right? And that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. Okay. So certain companies and certain industries are going to be much better with people in person. And it's beneficial to a culture whose moat is that speed of innovation. Okay. And doing it in person, in my opinion, is the optimal way of doing it. And people that have been following Elon know that he's all about efficiency and maximizing the correct solution. Okay. So those are my thoughts. I'm going to go through the comments as I've word vomited on everybody. My apologies, but do let me know what you think. Why is this such a big deal? Your employer wants you back in person. That's all there is to it. You can make that argument. If you're unhappy with it, go play somewhere else, right? This is a good policy for Tesla team. Extraordinary change requires extraordinary commitment. Exactly. That's my interpretation as well. Remote worker, Elon is right. Okay. What triggered a drop in productivity or the absolute carpasticness of Twitter? I don't think it's a Twitter thing. I just think he, like I talked about before, he saw some drop in productivity and speed, and that's probably what triggered it, And I'm going to guess it's part of, you're telling me supply chain isn't why we can't do this, but that's not true. And maybe somebody got caught in that. And then he was pretty pissed off about it. Just speculation, right? I value my freedom to work while traveling the world way more than working in some office. Nobody's sitting in their deathbed looking back to all the products they made or whatever. Yeah, that's fair. But where are you working at where you feel that way? There are jobs out there, not very many, but I would put Tesla in this category, where perhaps some people find that more valuable than freedom of work, right? So if you're somebody who really likes freedom to travel while working, great. This freaking thing I'm doing now with YouTube is giving me the freedom to do whatever I want, and I love it. But there was a period of my time where the mission of Tesla was the most important thing from a fulfillment perspective. And so I was willing to give up any flexibility to do that, right? So I think it goes from person to person. I don't think it can be blanketed. And if Tesla is a company that can attract the best talent, they're going to have no problem filling in the gaps of people that want that freedom. There's nothing wrong with that freedom, but you can't force a culture in a company that requires a certain type of culture to remain its competitive advantage. That's backwards. What those people should do is find jobs that allow them to do that if they're really that upset, okay? That's the way I look about it. They can try to change it. They're more than welcome to change going from fully in person to fully remote, okay? But Elon's not going to let it happen because he knows that the culture of those teams is what's most important. And doing it remote, unless somebody has figured it out, is going to be always harder than doing it in person. Not impossible, but harder. And if you have to spend extra effort to do that, when you can just have people in person, then it makes no sense, because that effort of making that work could be better spent in accelerating the growth of the company, getting more batteries out the door, building the next product, getting people to Mars. I don't freaking know, right? So we got to think it within that context. There are 11 million unfilled jobs. There you go. Right? Is your impression that work from home is default banned to all employees or just execs? Yeah, I think from the email it's clear that work from home under 40, if you're not spending 40 hours at the place that you're supposed to be working at, is default banned unless you are able to prove that you can do it remotely. And Elon says, cool. Okay. So it's everybody. It's everybody. Because again, you have to remember, most of the company has to be there. And the rest of the company, if their job is to support those people, and them not being there is lowering the ability to support those people, then that hurts your culture. You know? I don't even know what that comment's for, so we're going to remove it. Let's see. What else we got? Drop your questions and comments below. If Elon works in person, guess what? You better be there until you can outperform Elon. Did you work in an office at Tesla, or did you work in the factory? I worked at a warehouse for most of my career. And I was in data analytics, and I was also building processes and dashboards and leading teams and stuff. But I was there in person for most of my career. And then once COVID hit, my role started shifting to more like network wide. And so I had to bounce between locations. And with the opening of Gigafactory Austin, I got approval to move down to Austin in preparation for that. And it also allowed me to travel to the other sites nearby a little bit easier. So that crazy Elon demanding that employees go to work. I mean, I think it's definitely an interesting time, right? Because you do have a lot of people that are passionate about there being more remote work, because it has enabled people to have a much better work-life balance. But it goes back to the fact that Tesla and SpaceX and these companies are not glamorous jobs. You're building things, right? So requiring people to be there to build those things and to fix them makes a lot of sense. It does. Will there be detractors saying that the Tesla CEO is remote 50% of the time himself? I mean, they can try to make that argument, sure. And I'd be curious to see what Elon says to that. He'll probably say, you know, during the Model 3 ramp, I was there when I didn't need to be. And I'm constantly working in the space that I'm at, you know, and the 50% that he's not working at Tesla. So what does that mean? Is he at SpaceX on location working? You know, I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be detracting Elon's position, because I think he's walked the walk, right? Especially compared to other CEOs. Especially compared to other CEOs. So we'll see. Musk worked on the factory floor day and night, but also had hundreds of millions of stake. Most workers do not get anything close to what he got for doing those kinds of hours. Exactly. Great point, right? He probably works more than 40 hours on site even still. Yeah, potentially. I think this move will definitely still work out in Tesla's favor since Tesla has a massive following of millions of fans. A regular company trying this, though, would get slaughtered in hiring department. Yeah, I just don't think... this in no way will impact Tesla negatively in any way, shape, or form at all. If at the very least, it's going to improve their ability to solve problems a little bit more. Because again, if you have people that are truly upset about it and they do not like giving up that flexibility, find a different job, dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. This is not a black and white thing. This is a company requires a certain culture, and that culture is achieved with people at the place. And people that are there don't want that, and that's okay. And if they're trying to change the culture and it's not working, find something else. There is millions of people that would kill to be in that position, right? So, yeah, it's 100% in Tesla's favor. And again, if you're somebody who's an investor in the company, this is only going to make Tesla's speed better than what it is today. So, how much impact do you think COVID remote working had on Tesla progress? Despite remote work, they still hit record numbers. Yeah, I mean, absolutely true. But I think Elon wouldn't have sent, in my opinion, Elon wouldn't have sent that message unless there was some marked drop off in areas due to the remote work. And just because Tesla is breaking records doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going as fast as they should, right? So I think Elon's always going to measure it from the standpoint of what is the optimal speed. And I don't really care if we're beating records. Like, I don't care if we beat the record by 10%, we should have beat it by 20%. And so that becomes the measuring stick. It's not hey, we beat last quarter. It's like, hey, we should have done X and we did Y instead, okay? So, yeah. I think they obviously manage it better than everybody else because they have a certain specific set of talent. But I do think over time what ends up happening is if you are remote and you're not exposed to the uniqueness of Tesla, which is its on-site culture, eventually I think human beings will just revert to comfort, right? And then maybe, dude, it's a hard job. Like, if you're going to be remote and you're supposed to be working at Tesla and you're home all the time and you're supposed to be there and you don't get to experience the pain firsthand, and instead you get to, like, have some comfort around you, of course you're going to prefer that, right? So you have to be willing to sacrifice some of that to go in and make stuff happen. That's part of being working at a really hard place, And again, I'm not against remote work. I'm just saying from the perspective of optimizing the speed of the company, it makes the most sense to have people on site. Working at Tesla seems like it's all about achieving the mission and optimizing for that. So if working in an office accelerates time to mission completion, it makes perfect sense. Bingo. Basically summarize what I've been saying for the last half hour. Thank you. Said it much better than I did. I need to change my name to Adam Kahn so my comments get read. I just read your comment, bro. I'm just randomly going through and just clicking on comments. Sorry. He said that to fix Model 3 line, he wanted to show employees he's there with them. He demands the same of the executives. I don't see what the problem is. If you want to work remote, leave, period. Nice keyboard, thank you. It's a Corsair something or other. Kudos to the line workers, assemblers, technicians, teams. Yeah, they're freaking badasses, man. They're always there. Yeah, they began. I mean, they always get a lot of applications, right? Constantly. Daily compare remote work cultures across the tech majors. However, Tesla, in my opinion, is really an ecosystem that works because the fact that everyone is close to the product in some form or manner. That is definitely one of their competitive advantages, man. It's the culture. On one of my community forum we had with my Patreon supporters and the folks that have joined the channel. By the way, if you haven't liked the video yet, I would love it if you give it a like. It helps it show more people. Thank you very much. The fact that everyone is so close to the product and problem solves together is one of the big reasons why Tesla has the advantage it has. It's because the culture at the company is so unique, and it's much easier to have that culture and expand on that culture if everyone's there on site. I'm a Tesla investor. I know there is a cost to having to hire and train new people, not to mention veterans' value to getting things done. This all or nothing mindset is not logical. I mean, I could see that point too, Kevin, but I do think when it comes to the email that was sent, if you read it for what it said, it's everybody come back to work unless there are specific situations where they don't have to be, and if that's the case, let me know what it is, and then I'll approve it. And I'll look and I'll see if it makes sense, and if it makes sense, I'll approve it, right? So I think everyone's taking it as a blanket statement, but there has been wiggle room, right, left to prove that something has to be remote, okay? But again, we can't forget about the fact that a company like Tesla will benefit the most from a culture perspective if it maximizes its speed of innovation and speed to solution. And if being in person is that key, then it becomes an obvious answer, right? My main mission is not to work. Okay. Let me know how that works out for you, my friend. That'd be awesome. I mean, it depends how you define work too, right? So if work is doing something you don't want to do, yes, I think that's everyone's work, everyone's goal. But if work means like building things for society or yourself, I feel like all of us should work, no? You'd have to be a true fanatic to apply to Tesla, knowing full well what their work culture is like. People who apply know full well what they're getting themselves into, so no harm done. Yeah, that's a good point, right? If you do have a question, make sure you put a question before your question, like type out question and then colon. It helps me filter through the comment section a little bit easier. Thank you very much. This is a complete non-issue. This is Tesla's culture and expectation. At least Elon has made it crystal clear. Great move by Elon. Yeah. You know? And again, I do think Tesla investors do pretty good at not working. Well, do you know what they're doing outside of investing in Tesla? Again, it depends how we define work, right? If work means a regular job, yes, none of them are working. But I know a lot of investors that never have to work another day in their life, and they're working, but they're working towards something different, right? One of the main reasons America became great is because people came here to work hard and reap the rewards. Success. Yeah, that's a good framing for that, for sure. Question, since he used HR as an example, do you think he had an issue with someone in HR? He tweeted LGBTQ this AM, maybe issue came up and HR is all hiding at home. Very well could be. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, very well could be. Because I'm thinking back to my time at Tesla, and yeah, I don't know. But it's peculiar that he used a specific team, and I don't think he would have used it unless he came across it. So I think that's pretty good speculation. What are your favorite formulas for analysis? Okay. Like in Excel? Honestly, VLOOKUP. I love VLOOKUPs. It's the simplest. I feel like everyone who is I feel like everyone who has ever, like literally everyone in school should learn how to do VLOOKUPs, because they're such an amazing and powerful function. It's so simple, but it can help you do so much in Excel. Like, it's not just reserved to numbers. You can use it for letters too and characters, right? And I'm always so surprised by the amount of people that don't know how to use VLOOKUP in Excel. Super, super powerful. You win thumbnail of the day. Thank you. Took me like 2 minutes. Thank you. Did you get the latest FSD beta software? If yes, did you see some improvements? Great question. So I got it pushed today. I'm actually checking to see. Can I view my my software thing on the app? Let me see. Can I? Or do I have to go into the car to check my... Because I did get pushed an update today, but it's for So I have 2022 12.3.20, but I don't know which full self-driving one it is. But I do think I got the newest one. I just haven't been able to go into the car yet. I got it this morning, earlier this afternoon, actually. About to drive 10-12-2. Wish us luck. Good luck, Ty. How old am I? I'm 35. I turned 36 in January. Send me birthday presents at... Just kidding. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of coverage on the new full self-driving beta, and I'm very excited to try it. I might get some driving in. I know my wife needs the car later. We only have one car, but maybe I can sneak some in before she goes. Got to step up that game with index match. Yeah, index match is way more efficient for some stuff, for sure. Keep in mind, factory workers must be at work to do the job. Easy to see how this could create resentment if that pattern continues. Exactly. From a support standpoint specifically, like there's nothing worse, and I've seen this with my own two eyes. There's nothing worse than a line worker or warehouse worker or somebody who's doing a specific process that is inefficient, and their job is so freaking hard, when somebody could be there to fix it for them and make it easier. Like, there's nothing worse than being somebody in that position. And if having people there maximizes the chances of fixing those situations, then it makes all the sense in the world to make that happen. Christopher, question. During your time at Tesla, did you see any other strategies like this to increase worker productivity? I mean, that's a very broad question. So, strategy of having people working on site doesn't seem like well, I guess you can call it a strategy. I mean, the biggest thing that I found that really helped with worker productivity is really empowering people to find solutions in their own way, and really giving as many people the keys to the company as possible, meaning that basically anybody is a decision maker, or basically anybody can propose ideas and solutions, and then teams will get together and discuss what they are. And then the ones that are likely the best ideas are get tried out, and then the best one wins, right? So, but you have to enable a culture of accepting everyone's ideas, and there's no such thing as that, oh, this person is only going to solve this problem. It's like, if you have a good idea, bring it forward. It doesn't matter what team you work in. And then if it makes sense and it's going to make it easier or faster or safer or better in any way, then it gets implemented, right? So, but that requires a lot of allowing people to have ownership. So that's their biggest one that I noticed when I was working there. We saw the Gigapress for Cybertruck. How long before it's installed in Austin and we start seeing some trucks? Educated guess. Excuse me. I like freaking water coming out the side of my mouth. I think December we'll see the first Cybertrucks roll off the line. The very first ones. But it's going to be like sample ones. But they're not going to be like production. They're going to be beta versions, alpha versions. You suck, Farzad. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Herbert with another question. With another question. I love how definitive and clear Elon was in his communication for the policy. How do you think the Tesla employees are reacting to this? What percentage are rethinking their involvement? Good question. I think there's going to be a significant percentage of those that are remote that feel like they can be remote, but really shouldn't be remote. I would say all of them are rethinking their involvement. Now, what percentage of those guys and gals decide to stay? That's a different story. Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know. I do think there's going to be definitely some folks who will leave for sure, but it's going to be a minority, and I think that will open up the door for other people to step in that are dying to join the company, who are going to bring a lot more approval or a lot more fire, I guess, to the specific job than the previous person potentially. Capricorn or Aquarius? Capricorn. My wife's into the astrology stuff. I don't follow it very much, but I'm a Capricorn. I think I'm a Capricorn. January 19th. I think that's Capricorn. On his LGBTQ tweet, he wrote, "Personal choices are your own and are respected. What do you make of the phrase personal choices for referring to sexuality?" I wouldn't read too much into that. Tesla tech is absolutely number one. The interior is not though. Do you think Tesla will ever have a more posh interior? I mean, I thought the Model S Plaid interior was pretty good. I mean, it's not to say as fancy as like a S Class or maybe like even the Taycan, but it's also cheaper, right? For that top spec speed model. So the only way I would see them having a more posh interior is if they start selling cars that are in the 250, like 200 to 250 sort of price range that's catered to be posh, right? So I think it's a question of like, what do you get for your money? And I would argue that 130 some odd thousand for a Model S Plaid with whatever interior it has is significantly more value for money than, say, a Taycan, for example, in my opinion. If Tesla goes down hard, like sub 500 after a bad Q2, would you buy some more shares? If I had the cash, yes. So let's find some cash. I'm a bit perplexed by Elon's email about teleworking. If I was an engineer there, I'd probably leave. That's fine. That's fine. Just know that there's a certain I understand why you would say that, but you also have to keep in mind that you have to be there to understand how that culture works, and the amount of things that you have to be constantly working on is immense. And oftentimes doing it in person makes it way easier and gets solved way faster than if you weren't there, right? So it's all about speed of resolution. This isn't like, oh, you have to be at work because this is how it's always been done. It's not. It's optimization for speed to get stuff done. 100%, right? So if you're somebody who values freedom of time, that's phenomenal. But look to maybe work at a company that facilitates that better. Okay, that would be my advice for that. If you're somebody who's in that situation, will our Tesla factories differ in attendance, productivity, and quality? I mean, I think isn't Shanghai the one that's doing the best right now from a like productivity perspective? So I know they have already, and the newest Tesla factory is always going to be more efficient than the last. So it's constantly getting better. So from that perspective, the productivity and the quality will get better. Attendance, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how you're framing that question. So maybe help me understand that better. How many Cybertruck reservations do you have? One. Why would I need more than one? I know there's people like with 60. No, just one. I don't know why I would need more than one. I mean, I get people like, well, I can do like the fleet of like work trucks and stuff and rent them out or FSDM, but great. Good luck to those people. That's what I would say. I don't know why this was like hidden. Some comments get hidden on here and I don't even understand why. What do you think? What do y'all think? Okay. What do you think Twitter employees think about that email, I'm guessing? Sorry, Simon. That was a tough one to read for some reason. I'm sure the ones that are remote are probably criticizing Musk very harshly. And yeah, but again, this was a Tesla email, right? Twitter might be a different circumstance. You have to think about like the type of work that gets done too as well. So I'm not really sure if one application can be applied to the other one. But if Elon's like, you know what, the culture at Twitter is so broken that I literally need to stick people in an office to like start working on this culture, then, if that's what they think their fate's going to be, then yeah. I'm late, but I have a serious question. There are videos out there saying Elon has a quantum computer and that he will release a phone. Is any of this true? I have no idea. So do you expect Roadster interior to be sublime? I think it'll be nice. But the money is going to be prioritized for the tech of that thing going as fast as humanly possible. So we'll see how nice it is. It would probably be like the Model S Plaid comparable, right? There there was a situation that instigated the email, almost for sure. Yeah, I'm 100% sure. RB, I'm right there with you. Agreed. Thoughts on new factory date? How long till Philly built and operational? They'll probably announce another one, I think, by the end of the year, if I were to guess. And it'll probably take about, 18 to 24 months to get it up and running if you use the other factories as a blueprint, which is probably correct. Are you concerned of a recession that Elon Musk and Y Combinator mentioned multiple times, that companies going bankrupt and slashing Tesla valuations? I'm not really concerned about Tesla within the context of a recession, because I think a recession ultimately helps Tesla, because they don't need the funding to keep going and they basically have unlimited demand. And in the event of a recession, governments will look to boost demand of cars. And as ICE vehicles go out of favor, as they have been already, it wouldn't make any sense for people to buy cars that are gas powered. And so all the efforts to restart the economy will be based on the next generation of technology, i.e. EVs. And that basically assures Tesla's survival through the recession. So I have zero concerns. I have zero concerns about a recession within the context of Tesla. Now, I do feel like if we do have a recession and families get impacted and lose their jobs at other companies, that sucks, right? So, but within the context of Tesla, I'm not worried at all, my opinion. From the book 0 to 1, which Elon read, says working remotely should be avoided because misalignment can creep in whenever colleagues aren't working together full time in the same place every day. Yeah. Great book, by the way, if you haven't read it yet. Peter Thiel. I have it back here somewhere. It's in that stack of books right there. Oh my God. How did I forget? Dude, I haven't shown you guys this yet. Look at this. Come on. Zoom. There we go. Look. It's a cyber whistle. What do you think? You hear? Well, this is a crappy whistle. That's not bad. I bought it with Dogecoin because that's the only way to buy it. Look at that. Maybe I'll play it while I play the guitar. Biden's proposing tax penalties for businesses operating outside the U.S. How will this impact Tesla? Is it all companies that work? Like if you're a global company that's headquartered in the United States and you have production in the United States, yet you have production in, like, say, China, like, you get punished for that? That seems weird. I don't know if that's really I feel like it would only be the case if you're, like, headquartered in the United States, but you have zero production in the United States, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense. Thoughts on this political comment, on his political comments, specifically saying he's voting Republican. Not sure how comments like that help Tesla. Also, Republicans typically don't believe in climate change. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very broad statement about Republicans typically not believing in climate change. Now that I live in Texas and I am on the suburbs of Austin, and majority of where I live is quite Republican. I'm sort of like, I'm party agnostic. I'm like a freaking homeless party, like, political person. That's a broad statement. I wouldn't make that statement personally. I think that Elon getting into the political stuff is, personally, I think it's in preparation for what's coming down the pike with the fact that a certain party is probably going to attack him really hard. And also in preparation for what's coming down the pike with automation and how his companies are going to start potentially displacing some jobs, potentially. And there's going to be certain parties that are going to twist that narrative into Elon's here to take away your jobs and keep all the money for himself. So full self-driving in the bot, for example. I made a video about this yesterday. So I think it's in preparation for a lot of things. And I think that if we have someone of his stature that's becoming more involved in let's be frank, in my opinion, in a part of the country that is obviously broken, I don't see how that's a problem. You have a problem solver that's trying to solve problems. And if he's making his how he's going to vote public, okay. Yeah, he has every right to do so. I don't view it in any negative way. And I can see how people might be concerned about it impacting Tesla negatively. But ultimately, if you're investing in Tesla, you're investing in a person who has always paved his own road. And this is par for the course, in my opinion. Let me know if that helps. Could you imagine going back to Tesla in the future, or you don't think you would ever go back? Yeah, I get this question a lot. So I think for me, like, I really enjoy the freedom that I have now of doing whatever I want. Thankfully, my wife and I are in a great spot financially. I don't see myself going back, but also it's never say never. If for some reason, years down the line, I find that I need that type of fulfillment again in my life, then I might attempt to go back. But I don't think so. I think I'm really starting to figure out what this channel is, and the fact that I could potentially drive some change from the perspective of furthering certain conversations forward. I think that is becoming something that I'm becoming passionate about. So we'll see how that changes over time with this channel. What chance do you give the Roadster will be delivered to customers in 2024? Very high. Super high. 2024? Yeah, for sure. I work with a company that is a pioneer in the remote work enabling space. I think that efficiency is maxed in person, but most companies can't attract so much talent and so need to go wider in geo. Great point. That's a really good point, Ishan, right? So if you're a company like Tesla that can attract talent globally and people will literally trip over themselves to join your company, why wouldn't you leverage that? It's a great point. Inflation up or down is a win for Tesla. Inflation up, then people buy Teslas because of insane gas prices. Inflation goes down and Tesla lowers prices. Opinion? Yes. I've never heard a single Republican say anything other than the jury's still out on climate change. Yeah, no, I've heard many Republicans say that they agree climate change is happening. Now they'll make arguments that a certain less percentage of it is due to human-induced climate change, but they agree that it's happening, and that's kind of where a lot of the debate is. But yeah, I typically avoid those kinds of conversations, and I change it to a topic that we both are a little bit more aligned on, or just talk about sports or something. Do you think Tesla would build a gigafactory in Indonesia? I think that makes a lot of sense, especially since they're talking with the government there. And I forget what is it, lithium or something is the best in Indonesia? I forget what, but it does seem like they're starting to build out some sort of a relationship there. So I would not be surprised if that gets announced. And that gives them more leverage in the Asia Pacific market to diversify their production, their manufacturing capabilities, and not just be so like China-centric. Do you have any idea how many governors are lining up with bid proposals to get a Tesla gigafactory in their states? I have no idea, but if I was a governor, I would be lining up. So I'm guessing he's probably talked to every governor in some way. So, can you play Harvester of Sorrow? Yes, I can. I've played it before on the streams. Q2 earnings, how good? I don't know. I got to sit down and do my model for it. I do think there's a chance that it might underperform, meaning like it might be in like the mid 200,000s, but I'm not quite sure. Johnny Depp won. He did. Team Johnny. Who's Team Johnny? Won himself, I think like 10.5 million, something like that. There's at least 276 people today who will not be able to make it a Tesla. Is that the viewers? Including myself. What do you think the trigger or catalyst is in order to release FSD to the masses? There are different ways to measure what is better than a human driver. Yeah, I mean, I think Tesla is going to have a bunch of different metrics internally to gauge that. I think safety is going to be paramount. And so if they have data that says FSD is 10 times safer than a human getting from point A to point B in within 10 to 15% of the time of a typical human, or even 20% of a typical human, then perhaps that will be the metric. But I think safety is going to be the first one. All right, let's give it 5 more minutes and then we'll play some guitar, yeah? Any last questions? Drop them in the chat. I'll admit, I'm currently teleworking, which enables me to join this live stream and not worry about someone walking by and harassing me in the office. There you go. There you go. I'm Team Amber. If you're watching, call me. Oh boy. Amber Heard. Yeah, that was like, I could not stop watching that damn trial. I could not. It was like so crazy. My apologies for coming in late. How dare you? Thank you. Thank you for coming, man. Thank you for coming. The timing is right for SpaceX to make a movie with Tom Cruise. Yeah, right? Have any of you guys seen that movie? What is it, Maverick? How angry is Elon over FAA stalling? I'm gonna guess he's probably pretty pissed. Pretty pissed. Like this is what, the 3rd delay at least? Top Gun, thank you. That was in. Cool guitars, man. Don't know much about them, but they look expensive. The one on the right was right at $1,000, so that one was pretty expensive. The one on the left, so the Explorer shape, the more wooden looking one, that one I got in college. That one was $400. It's awesome. Question: can the on-air sign light up when we're live? Yeah, it's on right now. Yeah, I'll turn it off. See? It's off. It's off. Now I'll turn it back on. Oh. Yeah. There you go. We're on. We're live. I've been having I don't know if it's allergies today or what, or if I'm getting a cold. I've been if I'm a little bit lower energy than usual, I apologize. I think I'm coming down with something. We'll see. But I'm still going to play guitar. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Kubide beef. You? Yes. The best. Nobody knows that. If nobody knows what that is, it's Persian food. It's like Persian kebab. Freaking insanely good. In time for a song, though. Love the way you've played Mary Bar I Had a Little Lamb last time. Thank you. We'll play it again. We'll play it again. Could be COVID. It could be. I got COVID. I got COVID for my birthday, actually, in January. That was fun. I had it for 2 days and then it went away. Do you think it's a good idea for a software engineer to join Tesla now? I think it's a good idea for anyone to join Tesla now. Yeah. Share price in 2026? Let me look at my model. Let's look at the model. What does the model say? What does the model say? Okay. I got it at $8,500 with a PE of 52, revenues of about 500 billion, and net income of about 170 billion, which would give us a compound annual growth rate on, revenues of about 50% year over year. But not investment advice. Not investment advice. Okay. 2 more minutes and then guitar. How much does an average engineer make at Tesla? Probably more than the other companies, if I were to guess. The cool thing about Tesla is that you do get stock-based compensation as well. And you get access to the ESPP program, so the Employee Stock Purchase Program, which allows you to buy stocks at 15% off, which is a great little perk. Very common for public companies. Can you speculate on the new technologies that you think Tesla will develop first and give your estimates time-wise? Yeah, I mean, that's such a loaded question. Let me think about that and get back to you on the next stream. I think that's a good topic to talk about. There are certain things that they've been working on, I think, that are with the end goal, with the purpose of trying to get it over on Mars at some point, you know? So I have a video about how Tesla could get into the habitat game and make a habitat type thing where people are going to be able to move around Mars without any suits on and just build things under that habitat. And that you could use things like the steel from the Cybertruck, the glass from the Cybertruck, but made in a way to prevent radiation, right? Stuff like that. So, but it could be more. Could be more. An idea about how Tesla's compensations in Europe offices and play Harvester of Sorrow now, maybe? Yeah, I'm not super sure about how Tesla pays in Europe, but it's probably going to be... it's probably going to be very competitive to other places. I read today that the investing against the grain guy has COVID. Good luck. Haha. I'm actually supposed to go on his channel tomorrow, so hopefully he feels good enough. If not, that's okay too. Health is priority number one. Are you a proponent of crypto? I do like Bitcoin. Do you have to beware of scorpions and rattlesnakes there? There have been sightings. There was a scorpion that got into our house last year while I was traveling for work, and my wife had to kill it. So that was fun. And then someone found a rattlesnake in their garage in our neighborhood as well. So they are here, but they're also building out a lot of the surrounding areas. So usually when that happens is like these reptiles will get displaced and they'll look to find places to be at. So yeah, they are here, but they're not. I mean, I don't actively haven't seen a scorpion or a snake yet, but they are around. Larry, thank you very much for the 99 cent super chat. Thank you very much. Okay. Guitar time. Thank you all very much for stopping in and joining me so far. And we'll end the stream with a song. A hard one as well. I don't know why I freaking picked the song. Because I guess I like to freaking humiliate myself on stream. But we'll give it a shot. So. RB, thank you so much, man. $5 super chat. You're the man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. What do you think about Slaughter to Prevail band? Never heard of them. But I have been exposed to Polyphia, and they are insane. They're so good. I've never heard of them before until very recently, and it was somebody that I think dropped their name in the chat. Insanely good. Listening to Unforgiven 3 nonstop since your last stream. Epic song. Great song. Very good song. Fun hanging out with you this afternoon. You as well, Hans. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for supporting the channel, brother. Because you don't like the easy way? Maybe. Maybe I'm just an idiot. All right, guitar time. Okay. You worked at Tesla, easy, surely not what you experienced. I guess so. Maybe it's trained me to feel a certain way and seek certain things. Yeah, I think I'm definitely coming out with something, y'all. I don't think it's COVID. I've had COVID before and it feels different from COVID. It feels more like allergies, but it could also be a cold. So we'll see. I'll try my best to perform at my peak here. Okay. So it's the song we'll play today. It's called Blackened. Blackened. And it's really fast. I gotta tweak something here real quick. It's really fast, it's hard to play, and you're gonna watch me mess up most likely, but that's okay. We're here for fun. We're here to have a good time. This is from Metallica's 4th album, And Justice for All. And it's the title track, and it's actually about the global warming and Mother Nature being destroyed. Oh my God, so dark. It's so dark. But before we even do that, we can't end this stream and get into the song without thanking Mary Barra for her amazing leadership in remote work. Thank you, Mary Barra, for leading us towards a remote work place. Thank you so much, Mary. You led and it mattered. Thank you. Thank you to Mary in the chat, please. Let's make sure we thank her. She did such a good job. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Blackened, Metallica. Thank you very much.
my freaking hand. Oh, that was Harvester of Sorrow, right? Anyway, thank you guys very much for joining. Really appreciate you guys for staying and watching me play my guitar. We'll see you guys again next week, Wednesday, 3 o'clock Central. And I'm going to go try to nip whatever's happening to me in the butt as far as not feeling the greatest. So hopefully it's something mild. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great day. Get back to work. Elon wants you back at work. Get back to work. All right, everybody. Love you guys. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye-bye.